Good evening, Gills fans. Welcome back to the latest episode of Gills in the Blood TV. It is that time again. It's Thursday, a couple of days from match day, so I'm going to have a quick look through the paper. Thursday's Medway Messenger, see what's being spoken about throughout the week. And then, obviously, the big match preview, and it is massive this Saturday again. We are at home to a relegation-haunted Rochdale, who currently occupy a place in the relegation zone, but have picked up recently, and they are currently only 2 points from safety, sorry. So another massive game, another proverbial 6-pointer, if you will. But in terms of stuff going on through the week, we will do that first, and it's not been too much happening. So Steve Lovell has obviously been speaking to the press, and the first thing that he spoke about is no repeat showing. That is the headline on the back of Thursday's Medway Messenger. And he's talking about avoiding the non-performance that we put in at Rochdale back in September, when we were slapped 3-0 and generally were pretty much awful from first whistle to last. And this is the quote I'm going to use. It's coming up on your screen now. Steve Lovell saying it's not a case of owing them one. We lost up there because we weren't very good and they were good. The same thing could happen down here on Saturday, and he's correct. I mean, it's not revenge. It's a very strong word for a game of football, but it's just about making sure that we right the wrongs of that performance in the away fixture and turn up and do the simple things right and earn the right to play, and then hopefully go on and take something from the football match. He also says it's not if we're not very good and they're good, they'll beat us. So we've got to make sure we're as good as we have been in the last 7 or 8 games. And we have been very good in the last 7 or 8 games. A lot more solid defensively. For a while that looked like it had negated our attacking threat to a degree. But obviously we scored 4 goals last week in 90 minutes away at Wimbledon. So that word again, balance, which I've spoken about all campaign long. It seems we are getting somewhere near it at the moment in terms of attacking and defensive balance. We seem to be getting right at both ends, which is great. And another phrase that I like to use, long may it continue. Steve Lovell also goes on to talk about managerial sackings. There has been a spate in the last few days. Saturday's opponents have only got rid of their manager in the last few weeks, so that's one. Steve Lovell isn't a big fan, and this is what he has to say on the matter. He's talking about the likes of Stuart McCall, Chris Powell, Keith Hill, like I say, all managers that have been relieved of their duties at their respective clubs in the last few weeks in Keith Hill's case, and in the last couple of days in Chris Powell and Stuart McCall's case. He says they are all good men, good managers would have a way of turning it around, but each club has got a different agenda and a different way of thinking about things, and you can't control it. So whatever they decide is down to them. Excuse me. Does it work, sacking your manager, especially at this time of the season? If you look at the teams that have lost their managers this season, Bradford, they're on their 3rd, I believe. Gary Bowyer's just taken over. David Hopkin quit a few weeks back. Can't remember the name of the lad that was in charge at the beginning of the season, but it didn't work. They look cut adrift. They look as good as gone, unfortunately. And this is a squad that I backed to win the title. So has it really worked there? They're bottom of the league. You'd have to say no. Wimbledon have they got rid of Neil Ardley, and Wally Downs came in, and their form has taken an upturn, yes, but there's still a real danger that they're going to get relegated. Rochdale, 7 points from 9 in the caretaker charge of, his name escapes me at the moment. I'll come back to that one. But name's not important, but they've taken 7 points from 9. But again, they still sit in the relegation zone. So does he have enough time to do this on a consistent basis and for enough games to get him out of trouble? That's my question as well. It's not. There's this manager bounce that gets spoken about. Is it a thing? Is it not a thing? I'm not sure. But these people that are doing it on a caretaker basis generally are coaches or assistant managers. So are they cut out to do the manager role over a longer period of time, and once that manager bounce, if it does exist, stops, like the honeymoon period, so to speak, do they have enough about them to maintain that form that they initially get? So it'd be interesting to see with Rochdale, and obviously from our point of view, we hope that it's going to last 3 games and they're going to be shocking on Saturday. But Southend have just got rid of Chris Powell. Excuse me, sorry. Is there enough time for someone to come in, or an interim coach or a caretaker manager to change their fortunes, because they're on a slide that shows no signs of stopping at the moment, and they're in grave danger as well. Shrewsbury got rid of John Askey in November. Sam Ricketts took the job, they're 19th, so no real improvement at all, still in a relegation scrap, dogfight so to speak. And Scunthorpe, Stuart McCall, weird reign. They went, when we played them in December, they was in the middle of a horrendous run, and then I think they were unbeaten in 8 when they turned up at the Priestfield at the end of January, and we beat them, or middle of February. And now they've gone on another horror run, and it's cost Stuart McCall his job. But to look at it the other side, like I said, Bradford have had 3 managers this season, Shrewsbury have had 2. Rochdale are onto a caretaker manager, Southend and Scunthorpe are going to be onto their second managers, I think. So it's a tricky one. You can see why clubs do it and pull the trigger, so to speak, because it's a results-driven business, and they think a change and a freshen up of ideas might change the fortunes. But to look at the other side of things, Plymouth, Oxford and Gillingham have all stuck with their managers. That is 3 sides now that are sitting 14th, 13th and 12th in League One. So it is still tight in terms of points, don't get me wrong, and I'm not for 1 minute saying any of them 3 teams are completely out of the woods. But there's a piece in here that says the bookies can't see Gillingham going down. We're out to 16s, 18 to 1 to get relegated. So, and I'm pretty confident we'll be absolutely fine now and win Saturday, and you could probably say we're safe. But there is still work to do. So yeah, an interesting one. Let me know what you think. Comment down below on YouTube. Let us know on Facebook what you think, or Twitter. Are these clubs making the right decision, or should managers be given a little bit more time? And especially at this time of the season, when you've got no time for a new guy to come in and make a real impact, you're relying on a little bit of luck, I think. Don't get me wrong, you need luck throughout a season, but at this stage I think it's more luck than judgment if someone else does come in and has a massive impact. So, but only time will tell. That's the thing. We'll keep an eye on them clubs from now till the end of the season over the remaining 7 fixtures and see what happens. In terms of our players, Max Amar speaks briefly in the Shouting Men column this week in the paper. Like he's talking about the young players, and this is a quote he's used. He's talking about the fact that although we're 12th, but still essentially in a relegation battle to a degree, he says we know we're not a relegation side. We're much better than that. It's just our form this season hasn't shown that, and that's something we need to put right. Comes back to balance, consistency, the things that I've spoken about all season long. And as I said earlier in the vlog, we seem to be getting somewhere in terms of sorting that out now. But he talks about the youngsters, and he said it's a fairly young squad. We've got the likes of Brandon Hanlon, Regan Charles Cook, and even Leonardo da Silva Lopez. They're all young boys. I know they've played men's football, but you need to step up and be a man straight away, and sometimes that doesn't happen. Then he goes on a little bit later to say, look at what happened to DJ Oldacre when he came in for that run of games. He was first class. It's been difficult since for him, but he'll come back stronger and more experienced, and he'll know what he's got to do. I think we are blessed at the moment with a good crop of youngsters. Some, as Max has already mentioned, that are in and around the first team already. And below that, we've got the Ryan Huckles, the Aaron Simpsons, the Jack Tuckers, the Henry Woods, the Roman Campbells. There's a few that look really promising, and Louis Catherall, the keeper. So something else to keep an eye on. And it's great that Mark Patterson and all the other, well, it's not Mark Patterson now, is it so much? Sorry, Brian Ball and the academy staff and Ben White are doing a great job in bringing these youngsters through, and it'd be brilliant to see if more of them do come in and play in the first team. But again, we'll have to see over time. And finally, before I get on to Rochdale preview, Callum Riley. Riley has his eye on the goal. That's the headline inside. And he's talking about wanting to have more goals before now, between now and the end of the season. He said he had 5 up until January. And then he had a bit of an injury problem, couldn't get in the side, but he seems to be back. And he's another one now for me that it's no coincidence that the team's upturning form and runs parallel with his upturning form. He's a very good footballer at this level. He can play a couple of positions. He adds balance because he's naturally left-footed, and he's added goals this season. Like I said, he's already got 5, and if he could pinch another couple between now and the end of the season, then excellent stuff. But yeah, one who's back to somewhere near his best, and let's hope we get to see that for the remaining 7 fixtures between now and May. Right, that is it for in terms of what's in the paper and stuff during the week. We have a massive game coming up on Saturday as we entertain these. As I've already mentioned, Rochdale are in town, occupying one of those places in the relegation zone at the moment, but such is the nature of this half a division relegation battle. If Rochdale were to turn up at Priestfield and turn us over, they would be back to within 3 points of us, yet we're separated by 10 places at the moment. Absolutely mental. I've said it once, I'll say it 100 times, it's the craziest league I think I've ever seen. Basically, 1st to 11th are within a shot of the playoffs or automatic promotion, and from us down in 12th to the bottom are in a relegation battle. One more win though, I think, and we'll be fine. One more win and I will start relaxing a little bit, just a little bit. But yeah, in terms of form, let's get the paper out of the way. Notes. Last 6, Gillingham have gone win, draw, lose, draw, win. So that is 3 victories, 2 draws and a solitary defeat in the last 6, giving us 11 points from the last 18. Rochdale lost, 1 draw and 1, 7 points from the last 18, but broken down 7 points from the last 9. So unbeaten in 3. Home and away form, we are lost, drawn, lost, 1-1, lost. So that is 7 points from 18 available at the Medway Priestfield Stadium. And on the road, Rochdale lost, 1, lost, 3 points from 18. That win came in that 3-game unbeaten run. So we'll need to be on our guard. Like I said, unbeaten in 3 since sacking Keith Hill, so there is sign of life. But we've only lost once in our last 6. We're playing well. We haven't lost on a Saturday since the 9th of February. If you're looking for a kiss of death or a jinx, sorry. Yeah, Barnsley were the last time to beat Gillingham on a Saturday. We're 6 unbeaten since then, only 2 defeats in 8 games, and they both came on a Tuesday. One at the Stadium of Light and one at home to Bristol Rovers. In terms of Rochdale's squad, they lost Andy Cannon to Portsmouth in January. He was one of their better players, and you can't really blame him. He decided to swap a relegation battle for a promotion push with Pompey. Much bigger club, that's no disrespect to Rochdale, and chances are that Portsmouth, who are back to their best, could invariably be in the Championship next season. Still an outside chance of automatic promotion, a very outside chance for me, or if not, through the playoffs. Zach Clough back on loan again from Nottingham Forest. Unfortunately, I think his career's stalled massively since he left Bolton. Remember a couple of years ago when they was in League One, he was absolutely tearing it up and got his move, and rightly so. But it hasn't quite worked for him at the City Ground. I think this is his 2nd loan spell now at Rochdale, and he's had a couple of injury problems as well along the way. The Peter Pan of the Rochdale squad, well, they got 2. Ian Henderson's the spring chicken. He's only 34 and he's got 17 in 42 this season, which is a remarkable return for a bloke who probably wouldn't mind me saying that he's at the veteran end of his career now. But he's not the oldest in their front line, and that is Aaron Wilbraham, 39 years old, became the oldest player to score a brace in League One last weekend in their victory. So they've got a couple that we need to look at. They've got Calvin Andrew as well, a good old-fashioned battering ram, number 9 type, but doesn't score loads for you, but will hold it up, dig you out with elbows and slide digs and stuff like that, and make it tricky for centre-backs if he does play. But we're playing well defensively, so I think we'll be all right if everyone's on their mettle and does their jobs properly. In terms of team news for us, no Gabriel Zakwani, no Billy Bingham, and still no Ricky Holmes. It's becoming a little bit tedious now, unfortunately, and it's getting to the point where we're asking, will we actually see him in a Gill shirt? 9th of March was the target when he joined. That was the game against Oxford. Steve Lovell today said he's not available for this weekend, so that means next Saturday, Peterborough away, will be the earliest he's available. That's the 6th of April, so that's another month on top of that. We will only have 6 games left. Had a chat with a couple of people on Twitter today. Are we paying his wages, if any at all? Are we paying a percentage? Oh, he has a great influence on the dressing room. Yeah, that's fine, but you've got to... If you're getting a player of that calibre on loan, you've got to get more out of him than just influence in the dressing room and talk and experience. And it's a real shame because he's absolute class at this level, and we know that from watching him play against us for Charlton on plenty of occasions. And I know Oxford fans rated him highly when he was there before Christmas, before picking up a back injury, but I don't understand it. We must have, like I said on Twitter this morning, I'm no medical expert, but this is another 4 months down the line now, and we still seem no nearer to knowing whether he's actually going to pull on a dual shirt or not. The only time he's had one on is to announce his signing. But we'll keep everything crossed and hope that we can get some minutes into him before the end of the season, and then hopefully he'll go, oh, thanks for helping me out, and sign a permanent deal. Team for me, no changes. Team keeps picking itself at the moment, so my team would be Thomas, Holy, Luke O'Neill, Max Amar, Connor Ogilvie and Barry Fuller, and then it would be Mark Byrne, Leonardo da Silva, Lopez, Callum Riley and Graham Burke, and that front pairing would be Brandon Hanlon and Thomas Eaves. My bench would be Tom Hadler, Alex Lacey, Regan Charles Cook, Josh Reese, Dean Parrott, Tarvon Campbell and Elliot List. That is my match day 18. Let me know what yours would be. Would you make any changes? If so, tell me why. Prediction time. Looking at their away form, which isn't great. I think they've won 4 or 5 on the road this season. I think most of them come in the first 2 or 3 months of the season. Since then, they've only won 1, but that was in the last 3 games, like I keep saying. So we'll have to be at it from first whistle. But they've conceded 17, I think it was, in their last 6 on the road. So about 2 a game or more, 2.5 a game. So which isn't great. I think, as I've said, we're starting to get the balance correct between defence and attack. So for that reason, I am going to say Gillingham 3, Rochdale 1, and our goal scorers will be Tom Eaves, Brandon Hanlon and Graham Burke. I'm going for 3 that scored last week. Who have I missed out? Missed out Leonardo. He's the only one who's not going to score this week. Leo Lopez, who scored last week. I'm going for Eaves, Hanlon and Burke to get on the goal trail again. Right. That is enough from me tonight. Apologies, no Boz again, but he will be there Saturday, and I believe Stocky is coming along as well, so it will be the 3 Stooges for Matchday Live. As always, comment down below on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, tell other people to do it. Follow us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, follow us on Instagram, tell everyone about us. You know what to do. We've been doing it for a long time now, we're all mates. We will see you Saturday for Matchday Live, and until next time, up the Gills.